Hello everyone. The story I'm going to share today is If it's yours, you will have it. During the Ming Dynasty, there lived a rich family in the northern part of China. A young man was hired to do all the work for this family. The young man's father also worked for this family many years when he was alive. His father worked hard and was loyal to the landlord's family, thus accumulated virtue for his offspring. One December night, the young man had a dream. In the dream, his father told him, "Tomorrow, when you are cleaning the stable, you will find blue bag under the horse manure, and there are 10 gold ingots in the bag. You may only keep one. The other 9 pieces belong to the landlord, and you must give them to him. Remember, do not keep the 9 pieces yourself, because they do not belong to you." The young man went to clean the stable the next day. While he was shoveling the manure, he indeed saw a blue bag. There were 10 pieces of gold ingots inside. The young man had never seen so many gold ingots in his life. He got excited and thought that if he took them all, he would not need to work for others and would become a rich man. He also thought the 10 gold ingots had nothing to do with this family, so he planned to keep them all for himself. After dinner, he wanted to take the gold ingots home. So he went to the landlord and said, "The new year is coming. I originally planned to work here a little longer, but my wife and my son are expecting me to go home earlier. So I would like to go home today." The landlord was understanding and allowed him to leave immediately. The young man's home was 8 miles away, and it took him 1 hour to travel there on foot. So he took the 10 gold ingots with him and set off for his home in the darkness of night. The young man was happily on his way home, but when he reached a place near his village, he was suddenly confronted by a thief. Before he could react, he was punched in the face and fell to the ground on his back. The robber took out the knife and said, "Give me all the gold ingots in your bag, and I will let you go." The young man got terrified and took out the 9 ingots and said, "There are only 9 pieces, indeed, only 9 pieces." The robber said, "No, you still have 1 more." To save his life, the young man took out the 10th ingot and gave it to him. The robber took all the gold ingots and kicked him once before leaving. After the robber was far away, the young man got up from the ground and continued on his way home in a confused state. Later that night, soon as the landlord had fallen asleep, he saw an old man in his dream, who said, "I was doing business with your father when he was alive. He put 10 gold ingots in my place and asked me to give them to you. But you must give 1 piece to the young man who is working for you now. Do not forget to give it to him." The old man placed 10 gold ingots on the table and disappeared. Then suddenly the landlord woke up and he realized that he just had a dream. When he looked at the table, there were indeed 10 pieces of gold ingots laying there. He understood that the dream was true, and he planned to immediately give 1 piece to the young man. The landlord arrived at the young man's home an hour later. He said to the young man, "You have worked very hard for this past year, and in order for your family to have a prosperous year ahead, I have brought a gold ingot for you." As he said this, the landlord took out the ingot and put it on the table. Both the young man and his wife were confused and shocked. Then the young man thought to himself, "If it belongs to you, it will always be there. If it doesn't belong to you, then you will never get it." Thank you very much for listening to the story. More touching stories will be ready for you if you just subscribe it. Thank you again.